Folklore Ireland AM. The travelling community is one that still carries heavy stigma and lack of acceptance across the country.
But the play Why the Moon Travels could help inspire some progression in this area, and the writer Oein DeBairduin and actor Alan Doyle joins us now to discuss it more. Good morning to you. Thank you very much. The play we were talking about there, but it was inspired by your book, Owen. So Why the Moon Travels. Tell us about it.
So the Why the Moon Travels is a collection of 20 folk tales that I was quite blessed to be given as I was growing up. We have many folk tales. So I went through a process of working with the community and kind of selecting these stories to show our connection to land, our histories, but also unique inspirations that the vast majority of the wider population know nothing about.
And where did you get these stories from, Owen?
From family, from friends, and I'm also, you know, some children are born with they might be born with curiosity. I was born being nosy. So yeah, so I want to know all these things. I want to know why moons travels. I want to know why badgers have stripes. I want to know why spiders spin. And our stories have a lot of those creation myths within them.
So it's an oral tradition within the travelling community, and these are gifted down to you. So now you've made a play out of one of the stories in the book, and of course representation is so important. And this is a play about travellers by the members of the travelling community. How does it feel to see that rich heritage and culture be brought to life on stage for everyone to enjoy then?
Oh, I think it was really exciting.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And it was something that actually was very unique into itself, is that sometimes when people are going to theatres and to shows, they don't really consider travellers as being members of the audience. It's almost that we're there to educate kind of the set of people or make these connections, or kind of like it could be more familiar to them. What we want to do is to create something that was beautiful and enchanting, and something we felt was very authentic to us. So as part of our own stories are within them, as part of the stories, because we use these rules and come around. So we receive a story of the duty to pass it on, regardless of how ridiculous the story is. You tell it it's truthful because there's truth within it, and that you always recognise where it's from. So when we were telling our stories and performing, like Ellen is one of the most amazing actresses. Within the kind of those situations, you share your life, your understanding of the stories and why they're important to go out into the world.
Yeah, and Alan, how did you get involved in it?
I got involved through the workshops with Owen. That's how we started off, and then we waited for funding. We were about a year waiting on funding, Murray. About a year waiting on funding, and funding came through, and then we went to Galway and for 2 weeks, and we rehearsed and we worked. So yeah.
And how was it for you?
Brilliant experience.
Was it?
Literally a brilliant experience. It's nice to see the travelling stories coming to life.
Yeah.
You know, and there should be more of that. There should be more spaces for traveller stories to come to life.
Do you think there's a lack of that in this country, and that for the majority of people, they don't understand the travelling community?
Oh, 100%. 100% big lack of it. Genuinely big lack. Like when I was younger now, when I was about 16, 17, I used to go to schools.
Yeah.
I used to work for National Travellers, National Council for Travelling People, and I used to go from school to school. And when we actually went into the schools, they were like, travellers are this and travellers are that. But by the time we were actually finished our stories telling them, they were like, what?
Yeah. You
know, they were shocked. So I think like there's a lot of people out there that need to be educated about travellers.
And what do you think what do you think we think about travellers? What is it that the misconception there?
I suppose I'd ask the three questions that we usually ask. The first is, what do you actually, not to challenge people, but what do you actually know about travellers and about our culture?
Right.
Second is going...
And can I ask you there, what do most people say when you ask that question?
Most people know very, very little about our actual...
Right.
People know things about conflict and our high levels of kind of suicidation and estrangement. People actually know very little about our actual culture. And then what they do know, chances are, did not come from us. It came from usually a settled normative kind of, source, and we were never really engaged with the authenticity of that information. So there's a huge divide. I mean, we're not established in the curriculum. I work with the National Museum of Ireland, and kind of, as far as I know, I'm the only person with a full-time role working in traveller histories and heritage on this island.
Oh, wow.
Which is a huge commitment and dedication from the museum. Yeah. But it just shows the lack of representation historically and the lack of knowledge within the general population.
And we were talking just before we came on air there, Owen, about there's quite an overlap between the heritage, huge overlap between the heritage of the travelling community and maybe Irish folklore as well. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So, if you think about the island as an island itself, and a lot of people have been in different areas, let's say you're living in Kerry, you're living in Donegal, you've built up your own sort of local lore. We were nomadic people, so we got to visit it and blend it in different ways.
You travelled the country.
Yeah, and we also have our own versions of where we're inside the stories. So don't think about the Ulster cycle. You have Cuchulainn, Mav, all these people. If you reread them from a traveller point of view, they're all nomadic people. They all have camps, they all move around. So when I was a child growing up, they were our people, which is a very different way of looking at it. We also have our own versions of these tales. For instance, like St. Bridget's Cloak, who made the needle? Travellers. Do you ever think of the Tír na Nóg and Uisín? The horse returned with them. Why did the horse not age? Because it was a traveller woman who shoot them. So there's all these different versions of these tales of which were in them, and because we see ourselves in our tales and our expressions, but most people don't get to enjoy them.
But they're interwoven.
And do you find it as well? Because I suppose when you look back on like that, and you were saying the travellers, that's what they did. They travelled around. Most of your community now are settled.
Yeah.
So do you think even within the settled community, they are losing those stories? They don't know maybe the stories that you're trying to tell? Just because it struck me there, so we don't recognise that we're settled people. We're still nomadic people, which is that we can't have the ability to travel. I do think that the general population have lost a huge amount of your own lore. And the idea of where are our creation myths? And we were in the position, because of our traditional nomadism, being able to slightly outside the systems, we were able to hold on to them. Like some of our music is celebrated, comes from us, and we were custodians of them, some of our lore, some of our herb work. We were in a position of where we can be honoured and being recognised as being these custodians, just that people just don't seem like the people who are carrying them.
Ellen, let's speak about the role of women in the travelling community, because there's a very rich history there. And can you maybe tell us about how that role has changed from when you were young to what it is now?
That role has changed big time, because like from my mother to say my side, growing up, women were at home. They were cleaning, washing, cooking. That was their job. Now, there are more travelling women out there that are actually out there working. We have senators,
Eileen Flynn, yes.
Yeah, literally. And like we have a lot, like there's a load of other travellers out there like that are doing a lot more. And that's travelling women that are actually opening up. As years ago, like you were getting married, you were having kids, that's your job. No, that's gone.
And is that being accepted within the community, that that's the norm now?
It is for some of them, but the older generation are still old-fashioned.
Yeah, and they're sort of saying you should be... The way a lot of people may think the wife or the mother should be at home with the children and doing the cooking and washing, there'll still be some... There'll be some
there
of
is,
that.
obviously. The same with the settled community, like, you know what I mean? There's some of them are still doing it, like today. Like, there's no point in saying that. But there is a lot of the younger generation that are starting to open up.
Yes.
You know, and that's actually good to see that.
Well, change takes time, and that's important that they speak about it. You have a daughter yourself, haven't you, Ellen?
I do. I have a daughter, Ellen. She lives in Limerick. And she done her masters. And she's 4 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're delighted for her, the progress that's been made?
Oh, big time. Yeah. Like, she's brilliant, isn't she? Like, she genuinely is brilliant, like. Yeah.
Can I ask you about the language of the travelling community? And we were talking about that as well. And we were saying that it has the same roots as Gaeilge, as Irish language as well.
Yes, and a lot of it comes from Gaelic Irish, or Old Irish. It has modern conceptions, and the syntax is English. It's protected by UNESCO. It's on the UNESCO list. However, it's just not formally taught or funded at the moment. We're hopeful.
And do you speak it?
Yeah, and most people actually, not only do we all kind of like, you're quite Mooney with her.
What's it called?
Gammoncant.
Gammon.
Yeah.
Gammoncant.
Yeah, depending on the slight variations within families. But you yourselves have spoken words of it. I was saying earlier, for instance, if you ever said the word gammy, or bior, or fiend, our moniker, they are words that come from our language that have gone off into the world.
They've been borrowed from
and
your
shared,
language.
because we have a shared heritage. Like, everyone in this room is descended of nomads.
Yeah.
We're just the people who continue to move.
Now, the play was in Galway and got a great reception, and you're delighted with it.
Oh, definitely.
Is there any plans to bring it back somewhere else, or are you going to write more stuff?
Oh, I think things will be ever free going forward and be more creative. We're in active talks to bring out and about. And I think just like our stories and travellers, they're meant for travelling. So I'd be very, very hopeful.
Well, that's
bring it around the country.
Yeah, and further.
Oh, and further. Of course. Oh, well, no, why not? Yeah, why not?
The limit,
indeed.
guys. Yeah. Well, Oein DeBairduin and Ellen Doyle, thank you so much for joining us today. That was wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for joining us. And good luck.